Urban Philosophical Dilemmas, Presentation Number 3 by Nicole Winters. Chapter 3 focuses on the social contract and how it is underwritten by a racial contract where white supremacy is agreed upon. This contract excludes African Americans in all aspects and creates an artificial, man-made separation of African Americans and whites. African Americans are described as native and savage, which implies white dominance and the right to treat them as less than human, with the earliest definition of citizen including the idea of being unsavage. The chapter then explores the concept of blackness and how blacks can't escape their body to be spiritual or intellectual. The term black has come to mean dirty, evil, and even death, and blackness is seen as a space of nothing. Black trash is seen as a redundant phrase because they mean the same thing in our society. Chapter 4 focuses on the body perspective, which has 3 dimensions: the dimension of seeing, the dimension of being seen, and the dimension of being conscious of being seen by others. This means we see the world, we are seen, and we are conscious of what it means to be seen. The chapter then explains the comparison between a sadist and a masochist. A sadist only sees and is invisible to others, and he denies his body, much like the African American tries to escape their body and race to be more than just the race. A masochist can't see himself being seen. He is helpless and controlled and denies his consciousness because it is easier to live a life without agency and free will. Next are the terms subject and object. Subject is your agency and free will, your consciousness. Object is to be a body and to be seen. We ignore African Americans as subjects and see them only as a body or object. Lastly, the chapter explains being black in an anti-black world and how black presence is equivalent to absence. Blacks are seen as both invisible and too visible in our society. In comparing these chapters, they both focus on the idea of blacks being only a body. We strip African Americans of their subject and humanity and see them only as savage objects. Blacks are seen as the problem of our society, which ignores the fact that we, as a society, have put them in that position. We use the term savage to self-justify our feelings of white dominance and our mistreatment of an entire race. African Americans are only seen in a negative light because we have made it to be that way. We have forced blacks to try and live in an anti-black world, which often leads to the abandonment of their own race for the sake of survival. Blacks act as sadists and try to escape their body to finally be more than just the race we have defined them as. Both chapters acknowledge how we have excluded them from the racial contract and stripped them of their consciousness, to the point where they are seen as lesser humans than the rest of us.